Hi, everyone. It's Diane Evans for stampingwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So if this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm so glad that you have found me. Make sure that you have subscribed to my YouTube channel or that you are a member of my Facebook group or page. In any event, today is Monday, and if you do live in Canada, it is actually a holiday in most of our provinces. So happy Family Day, Louis Riel Day. There's so many different holidays that are today, and all by different names of different provinces. In any event, it's Happy Monday, right? So this is Monday. This is where I do either a 3D project or else I do excuse me, fancy fold card. So I had actually done this card in a stamp camp, and I had so many people reach out because of my blog posts. So I decided to do another type of card that's very similar to that one that I had done. But one that basically it shows how you can expand and go and use different product as it is. So let me just go on down to my desktop and let's get started on here. Hello. In any event, I love this Rain or Shine stamp set. Actually, this morning, just before I came on live here, I was making my cookies for my card class and a cookie. And of course, this is what they're coming. They're using this particular bundle in the card class at the end of the month or last Sunday. And I always try to do a cookie because it's something that I'm trying to learn how to do with these, with something that's going to coordinate with this. So I was busy making my cookies this morning, and then I found out I had a whole pile of flour and icing sugar all over me. But in any event, I think I've got myself cleaned up. Good morning, Marjorie, Nancy, and Dorothy. All right. So like I say, we're going to do this, and we're doing up a pop-up card, and it's kind of like a diorama card. I've done diorama cards before. Hello, uh, Joanne from Quebec. What is your holiday in Quebec? I'm pretty sure there is a holiday today in Quebec as well. In any event, we're going to use this. The star of the show is going to be this designer series paper. This paper is amazing. It has some excellent things, and I've done an awful lot of cutouts. Oh, thanks, Marjorie. She says that my cookies are amazing. Well, put it this way. I don't think anyone complains about being guinea pigs for my cookie decorating because it's something that I'm trying to do. It's a passion. I like it. It's another thing. It doesn't take that long to do. And plus you get to eat the benefits of it, right? All right. So anyways, we're going to use this. And it, like I say, it's going to be a pop-up diorama card. We're using this bundle. And this bundle is, I love the images that are here, but the dies themselves are pretty amazing. So I've gone ahead and cut some of those out as well. So if you're in the stamp camp, you will have already seen this type of a card. But this card is kind of a fun card to make. And like I say, you can use it for anything, but I wanted to show off this set. Now I'm also doing this particular card. Oh, there's no holiday in Quebec in February. Well, happy Monday. In any event, I have my card base. This one happens to be 4¼ by 5½. And I've cut a piece of this designer series paper, and this happens to be 4 by 5½. Now, see, this is just going to be the base. It's not a regular card. I guess we could have made this into a card. I never thought of that. It would be too bulky, I think, at that point. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and put this on. In a bit here, I'm just going to pop up the measurements for this particular card. Anyways, we're just going to go ahead and put this right on here. You know what? This looks like, oh my goodness, this didn't get cut down to 4 inches. Oh, I'm going to be so mad at myself. I'm going to come in with my cutter. And yep, we're going to get glue all over the place, but I can take this piece up and it will actually, I can clean it quite easily on here. So, real mess. I don't want it on my other cutter. It tends to make more of a mess. I'll just take this off completely and clean this. This was a lot of people ask me where this little cutter came from. it was an incentive to join Stampin' Up. And the incentive right now to join Stampin' Up, which is an amazing one, is the Boho Blue little mini cut and emboss machine. Honestly, why wouldn't you just join just for the discount just in itself, right? All right, so there's that. And also, I think the paper pumpkin also went along with this particular suite as well. Now, I have some other ones here. This piece here happens to be, hello, a little clutter. Oh, a little cutter. In any event, this piece here happens to be, and I'm just going to quickly pop those up just for a quick minute. If you need to see these afterwards, what you can do is you can go in and just get that or do a screen print of this measurement. So I have another piece that happens to be 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to score this at, I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1 1/4 1/2 inch. And I've already gone ahead and scored this 1 1/4 inch and 1 3/4 or 2 3/4 inch. Oh, you know what? I missed one score line, so I can actually go in and do that. And then I'm going to score it 2 inch and then 2 3/4 inch. And then we're going to turn this around and we're going to go again at 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 2 inches. So I'll go back in and mark that at the 2 inches and at 2 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to take those off there, and then that way I can carry on. Tends to take up an awful lot of the space that I go ahead and use. Now I have this, like I say, I've got this. So what I want to do is I want to go in and use my bone folder. Here, we're going to fold in. And like I say, this is a pop-up card. So just like this and like this. And we're going to do that on both sides as well. Like I say, I showed this on my blog last week, I believe, and on my Instagram account. And I had so many people ask me how to make it. So that's why I thought I'd do this, go in, and I would use, show how I did this. All right. Okay. So now what we also want to do is we want to go in and we want to, on this particular piece, we have to use our stitched rectangle dies. So I have gone ahead and I have used the 5th and 6th one from the largest, or else the 3rd and 4th one. And I'm coming in like this. And I'm going to put this right in. You know what? I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to come in with this one first. And this happens to be a piece. And on those measurements, what I did was I showed this as a piece of designer series paper. I'm actually using the balmy blue on this particular one. And this one happens to be 3 3/4 by 4 inches. And you've got to make sure that you've got it going the right direction. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to die cut this piece out. So we're going to measure that. And I'm going to come in with my Post-it note tape. And make sure that that's straight. Just there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this out. Now, on your designer series paper or the Post-it note tape, you are using the larger rectangle die. So let me just quickly cut that through. Whoops, I've got this turned around. Now, unfortunately, I have to use my big one on this particular cut because it's thicker. it's thicker than what the mini cut and emboss would do. So let's just move this here for now. I'm just going to take that off very carefully because I need to use that Post-it note tape again. Now we can use this for something else, so we'll just put that in our scrap drawer. Now this is going to go right on to this front part right here. So I'm going to use glue on that now. Now I've also gone ahead, I love my Tombow glue, but sometimes when you go to do certain things like along here, you tend to have, it's hard to get on there. So I've gone ahead and bought these little tiny bottles of bottles. They were empty, and I filled them with my Tombow glue. And I can then do a really thin bead along here. But like I say, this is Tombow glue that's in here. I found this works really well for classes that I go to and put them on the table and they can use that. All right, so I have this like so. Whoops. Just like that. We want to have that centered. We want to make sure that that's good and glued in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come in with that next size of the rectangle cut dies. And then we're going to position that right in the center there. And like this. Now, I find that this is the best way of doing this so that you don't end up and you don't cut. You get it positioned in the center. All right, so let's come back in and quickly run that through. So I'm just going to run that through and get that in. I really like these rectangle dies. I like putting them through on an angle, but unfortunately, I can't put this on an angle. So I'm just going to go through like that. Now, this piece of white, sorry about all the shaking and moving, but now we're done with the dies for this that I've already pre-cut. All right, so let's go ahead and take that out. Like so. There we go. And of course, we'll just keep that for later. Now, we have this like this. I went and I tore off some of that. You know what? I'm just going to come in. There we go. Now, what we want to do now is we want to create the pop-up mechanism on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm coming in with my tear and tape. I'm just going to put it onto this small area right here. And I use like a gift card or something like that to tear my tear and tape because it's kind of nice to have it where it's straight. If you're from Canada, you recognize my gift card here. And then I just keep that on my table, and that's just how we use that. All right, so now what you want to do is on this second score line, you're going to just fold in on that second score line. I'm going to come in and take this piece of tear and tape off, and then we're just going to fold this, or we can just fold this over onto itself, just like that. And then we're going to do the same on the other piece. And what that does is that forms a perfect square like that. And this is a little bit shorter. And the reason being you want it shorter is so that you don't have that extra bulk all in there. So let's go do this on the second side. Just like that. Bring this piece back over on itself. And now we've got that popped up just like that. Now what's going to happen is this is going to go right on in the middle here. Now I do have a piece of acetate, or it could be window sheets, and I need to cut this one down. So let's see. I'll bring in my cutter again. Now I think on my other instructions I had shown how to put this in sooner, but I found there was a lot of bulk on there. So I'm just going to go in and measure this just a bit. So about 2.5 by 3 3/4. And the measurements I had on in that one before was probably a little bit more. And that's because I put it all across there, but we don't need to put this on here until now, or you could have put it on before. Oops, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here, a little bead of glue all the way around here. And then I'm going to go in with my acetate. Now, this acetate, if you have photopolymer stamp sets, and if you're the type that doesn't like to throw anything away, and I'll show you where that comes from. In your photopolymer stamp sets, you have a piece that is on this part here. That's what you could use. Or if you wanted to, you could use this thicker window sheet. Because technically what should be happening after this goes is you should be putting your stamps onto this part here. Some people don't, so it's entirely up to them. But this way you can use this acetate. Whoops, and we got a tiny bit of glue on there. And we did not want to get glue on there at all. Now, what happens when you do get glue on here? It's going to end up being, make it foggy. I'm going to probably cover that up, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Now I want this to go onto here, and I'm just going to come in and do a rough pencil line just so that I know where this bottom part is going to go. And I'm not sure where my pencil went. Oh, here, it's right on my desk. All right, so we're just going to put that so it's in the middle. So I'm just going to mark this on the inside here. So I know that this part is actually going to show. So now this is where I can go ahead and put a bunch of our different things. I've cut this bunny out from the designer series paper. Now I cut out 2, and the reason being is because if I put this bunny right on here, what's going to happen is you're going to see the back. So I wanted to cover that up. I have this, I love this bridge. So you know what? I can go ahead and I can put that bridge on there, and I'll kind of cover up that white. So let's go ahead and see how we're going to do this. This is going to go on here. I have cut out a bunch of other things. I have some other flowers that were cut out from there. Now, what I wanted to do was, like I was saying earlier, I wanted to make this into an Easter card. So I actually have a kite. Now I'm thinking that maybe my kite is going to go on the front part, but let's go ahead and get some clouds. So I'm going to stamp my clouds with Memento. And this is from the stamp set, and there's dies to cut it out as well. So just there. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out, but I've already done that ahead of time. And I always cut my dies first, always cut them first, because when I go to color them, if I've got them a little off, they're going to I'll have to trim them and cut them again after I've colored them. Now, I'm not going to make these like rain clouds. If I want them to be a bit like a rain cloud, I would add a tiny bit of gray to them as well. So I think we can go ahead and put in this area, we can put some clouds behind. So let's just sort of figure out where we're going to put this and see how it's going to look. And then, like I say, I want this to be like an Easter card. I've got some grass, so I'm going to cut some grass in here. And yeah, I'm trying to think what color. All right. I've got this guy that I could put in here too. I could also put like an umbrella in there. So if I went like this and put this on there, see how that's going to, now you can kind of see that guy behind there. And I think I'm going to kind of put him in there. But like I say, I want an Easter card. So on my Nested Friends, it had some eggs in there. So I just easily cut out, or I just cut out some eggs. And I'm going to put some eggs in the grass. A very, very subtle Easter card. So we're just going to put some eggs in here, like pretending that they're going through and getting some eggs. So let's go ahead and just put that on there now. And remember, I've got those marked as to where they're going. Let's put that there. And I just went and cut random colors from here. Now this is going to be down at the bottom, so we're not going to see a lot of that. But that's okay. This is like an Easter egg hunt, right? And I think we will put this guy in there just because he's kind of fun. This was cut out, fussy cut from the Designer Series paper as well. This paper is amazing. And you know what? I think I'll put another 2 eggs down here. It's always so much little stuff that goes into these cards, right? Now I did want, oh, there's another petal pink card. So are there any questions at this point? Like I say, this is by request. There we go. Let's put that there. Now I'm going to put those clouds on with dimensionals, just because we can have dimension also on the inside. Find with these little dies, we always seem to have so many little things on there. And they're a little fussy, but you know what? This is a cute, I'm sure one of my grandchildren is going to love this card for Easter. And, you know, Easter is just around the corner. I mean, we're not quite in March, but let's put that there. And you know what? We don't need that with dimension on there. So I'm just going to take those dimensionals off and I'm going to glue that down. There we go. All right. Cool. Where do we find the dimensions for the card? At the beginning of the video, and I'll just quickly do this again. At the beginning of the video, I had the dimensions here. This blog post is going to be going live as of March the 15th for a for an Easter card. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this, and then we can decorate this front part. Now, if by any chance you do get that glue on there, what you can do is you could come in with rubbing alcohol and take that off as well. All right, so now this is going to go on here. So I'm going to put glue on there. And by glue there, it's going to, yes. So I'm going to put glue onto this part here, or I'm going to go with a tear and tape is what I'm going to do on here. And I'm going to double check this before I do this, because I know when I showed the other one. All right. So what you want to do is you want this part to show there, and we're going to bring this part of the card right there. And that part's going to glue onto there. Okay. So let me go and take this off. So I'll show that again. I'm going to just take this back off. Also, like I say, on the blog post on the 15th, it is going to be 15th of March. All these measurements will be on there as well as the list. So that's going to go just like that. So I'm going to just do this lightly to make sure that I've got it right. There we go. And then this part's going to come here again. I want to double check this part because it's got to be glue onto this part right here, or the tear and tape. Tear and tape was right here. Okay, so that's silly. It was just right here. Well, we can just use glue at this point. No, here we go. Let's go again. Put the tear and tape right here. And the only reason I'm doing this like this is because the last time I showed how to do this, I didn't get it right. So make sure that this part is in here. We are going to pull this over to that part there. And then when it goes on, there we go. I'm just going to take this part off. And then this is going to go right here. And see, that goes just like that. That's really bothering me, that one piece of glue there. Like I say, I can come in with my rubbing alcohol. All right, so let's go ahead and start decorating the front part here. So like I say, I'm going to just take this bunny that's here, and just because it saves time on coloring, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that onto this piece right here. Whoops. Just like that. We're going to put some dimensionals on there as well. Oops. It's not going to go there. It's going to go on here and one here. So we're going to just lay this out to begin with. So we have him coming across there. We want this kite. Now this kite has different pieces that are on there. It has thinking maybe this kite might be good. It has this piece that goes on there. Let's see if that's the color that I want on there. Or do I want a blue with a white? Do we want a blue kite? No, we need a white kite. All right, so I'm just going to go glue this on. A lot of the people that I think you might be doing for those swaps, Nancy, have already seen this card. If anybody that went to the stamp camp would see a card that's very similar to this. There we go. This is just going to go onto here. That's going to give us a different colored kite. so. And then, like I say, I can put these flowers down here. I can put some grass in there. But we also want to go ahead and mark this with Happy Easter. So I've used the Happy Easter from this Easter Bunny set. And I'm going to come in, and I think what I'll do is I'll do it in Night of Navy. And I've got a piece here. I also have this done in vellum, and I thought the vellum might be nice on there too. But let's see how this one will work. So just like that. There we go. A fun card, eh? Especially when you want to have, oh, you've never made it before. There's so many different ways of doing this, this type of card. You know what? I think what I can do is I'm going to put it off to this side right here. So let's start putting this stuff on. So first of all, let's put our bridge on. Bridge is so much fun. Somebody said it's worth the dies alone just with the bridge. So see, by putting this acetate here, what happens is you've got it where it's not going to dip in. Let's go ahead and put our bunny on there. That's what's making it the Easter card in my mind, with those also those little Easter eggs in there. I'm going to pop this one up as well. Glue all over my hands. Here. There we go, just like so. And that will come across like this when you close it, because that's how you're going to actually mail this card. And then let's go ahead and put that kite on there. So I'm going to actually glue this kite on. And again, like I say, I'm coming in with that really fine. Now I could have gone ahead and used the liquid glue that has that really fine point. I just like Tombow glue better, so that's why I purchased those. Let's just put that down there. Whoops, look at that glue going on there. There we go. Just like that. It's going to dry clear. And you know what? I'm going to stick a little tiny dimensional down there as well, underneath this rabbit's foot. So that stays there. And let's put some of this grass here as well. I cut out a bit of this already. Okay. Now, lots of other things that you could have done with this one in particular is, I'm just going to get this up here, is you could have also put this umbrella. Could have had him dragging an umbrella behind him, that sort of stuff. You could have had an umbrella inside there. I thought these flowers would be kind of cute down here. So I just want that up a little bit. Glue's sticking more to my hand than it is to here. Now, this is a little bit big, so I think I'll just cut it. Thank you. I don't know if that's going to look very good there. You know what? I think I'm going to stick. I don't like those flowers on there. So I'm going to go ahead and put another grass on here. And what we could do, I'll see how it looks. Could stick this Easter egg back down in here. Yeah, let's do that. So there we go. I want to kind of hold that down just a bit. So there's our Easter card, but let's go ahead. We need to put some stuff on there. So I think the best ones to go on there are these solid faceted gems because they are in Pool Party and they're also in Balmy Blue. So I can use the Balmy Blue ones. Let's just get rid of all that stuff. So like I say, this will close like this. If you've gone and put it on the right way, it'll close that way. There. And let's go ahead and put one of these on right about here as well. So there we go. There's our fancy fold card for today. It's called a pop-up diorama card. Like I say, it'll be on my blog. This whole thing will be on my blog as of the 15th of March. It also will be sitting on YouTube. You can sit there and go back and check out, change the way that you want to put, like with the designer series paper and everything else. I thought this one would be really nice with all the rain coming down and then everyone with umbrellas and everything else like that. But I needed an Easter card, and that's my Easter card. So it can't fold that way to go into it. It needs to fold this way, but that works really good in folding and going into the envelope as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. Awesome. I'm just going back and seeing if there's any type things. So like I say, we've got it popping up there. We've got some of the other images on there. So yeah, I think that kind of works for an Easter card, right? All right, so let's see what's going on. So we basically, tomorrow is my Technique Tuesday. Awesome. I hope that you do. Remember, if you like this, give me the thumbs up, share my video. That's one of the best forms of compliment that you can give me. Also, if you live in Canada and do not have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out. I do have a very generous online reward program. And also if tomorrow, Tuesday, Technique Tuesday, where I'm going to be doing, I've talked about this technique. I've done it before. It's not out there too much. I'm just hoping that I can find the perfect stamp to do this with. But it's an interesting and a really neat technique to do. So that's at 4:30 Pacific time tomorrow. So we will see you all tomorrow, 4:30. Have a great day, and bye for now.